Let's see. Is it back? I think it's back.
I don't see it yet. No. We're live.
We're live now?
Yeah, it's all good, Panda. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's all gonna be fine.
Okay.
Hello, welcome back to the GKR League. We had a little trouble, but we're gonna head into the games right away. Nobody started yet, so you didn't miss out any of the final. Don't worry,
Yeah.
Panda.
I would like to
quick?
apologize to you guys. I've had some random issues where I got a BSOD and my computer crashed. I tried again and crashed again. Luckily, we're back now, and I apologize vehemently to everybody, including GKR and Supercell and you guys, the viewers, that
And the
this
two
happened.
teams.
And to the teams as well. But luckily, you guys haven't missed the grand finals. We're going to get into the grand finals right now. I believe the draft is going to be underway. I apologize so much, but we're back here for the grand finals.
It can happen. Your PC is only human as well, you know. We're going to head into the draft already. Heading into our set number 1, it's going to be Pinhole Punt. And we gave Totem a little bit more of a break. Maybe they're actually happy, I hope. I so hope that. After coming out of their match against Eclipsar, they wouldn't really have too much of a break. Now they had the time to rethink and get their strategies going for their match against Humble. Now, Carl is going to be the first pick for the side of Humble. Chester, Meeple, and Buster are going to be banned out. So a few of the brawlers that Reply Totem really likes to play, especially Chester and Buster. B, Poker, and Chester banned out also from the side of Reply Totem. I would ban B if I would face up against Luki too.
Wow, Finks is going to be brought out here. I think it's a pretty good pick, considering the fact that it has quite a high pick rate, but in competitive, it really hasn't shown as much as in the past. So Mo is going to be coming out for Reply Totem, Ollie as well for Humble. So the last pick for Reply Totem really needs to address the Ollie here, because I don't really think that they have anything in their arsenal right now. I think that there is a nice mix from Humble.
They really like that comp from the side of Humble. They do still have the long-range brawler that Luke is gonna shine on. Ollie and Carl also just so good in the current meta. Carl, we already saw Boss before pop off on that brawler. He's just so strong today. Boss really the MVP for me on the side of the orange roster today. Jackie's gonna be the last pick here from Reply Totem. A well-rounded comp from both sides, I have to say. Now I really want to dive into these finals. We really got the excitement up. We gave you a bit more time to get even more excited for this match. We did that totally on purpose. Reply Totem and Humble is going to be your grand final of the GKR, and we're heading into it right now. Okay. Symantec this time around gonna be on the Finks, not Luki actually. Boss is on Ollie, does manage to score here very early. Humble with a 18-second goal. That's beautiful. That's what we want to see from today's grand final. Boss trying to go in aggressively with the Ollie. They, regardless of that, even though Boss fell, find a kill. It's a 2v2 with a nice trick shot here. Luki manages to get away with that quick 2-0. I think I said that before. The quickest Brawl Ball match today. Cross that. This is the quickest match today.
That was such a nice, slimy trick shot from Luki to get that goal. That was game number 1 of this grand finals. I think we have a lot more coming for us right now. Ninja Boy going to go in. He's going right aggressive. Gets taken out by Semantic, which is huge for Humble here. And they're moving up the map once more. This putting the ball in positions where they can actually use it and utilize it. And right now, we just see Totem completely push back all the way to spawn here against this Humble side.
Look in the right-hand side, quite low. Still manages to get the takedown onto Moro. Humble, again, complete mid-control. So oppressive. Humble with the full control. And Totem all the way pushed back into spawn. They don't really survive for long once they get out of it. Moro does find a takedown now. And does manage to move up with the ball here. Can't overextend it too much as Semantic's teammate come back out of spawn here as well. Angel Boy falls thanks to a heat ejector gadget from Luki. Boss on that left-hand side. They completely swapped roles, by the way. I saw Luki on Finks and Boss on that Carl again, but I guess they really can play every single brawler, all 3 of them.
Nice hypercharge from Luki to just keep them at bay here. Hypercharge coming from Angel Boy. He gets a double pull as well. He finds one kill. Boss jumps out of the harm's way there just to keep himself alive. And now he has to ensure that he has some staying potential just to give a little bit more momentum back to Humble. It is 0-0 in terms of the scoreline just now as Boss goes in here. He's going to be taken out. So is Luki. Semantic, the low man on his team, and has to really hold the line here for him and his compadres. Otherwise, they might fall to Totem, but so far, he's done his job.
He does it well as this time around. Totem actually does manage to hold on for a bit longer. I think the first match was about a 40-second game. This time around, we're still in 0-0 after almost 2 minutes of gameplay. Boss now on the left-hand side, pushing up here. Hypnotize on Angel Boy. Does manage to find a kill there. Boss quite low, but can't just walk up now. Can't score just yet. Doesn't have enough HP to go up against the Mo here coming out of spawn. Moro does a phenomenal job. And we still don't have a single goal here. Only 24 seconds left on the clock. Angel Boy with a really nice kill on Luki there, but not a single goal so far.
Boss is crazy with a volley. He goes in, he finds one kill with the help of Semantic, will hypercharge Mori in response, but he gets taken out by Semantic. Nonetheless, Semantic is still going to be alive despite the fire damage. Mori going to be diving in, tries to find Luki, but gets taken out, and try as you might, this indomitable side of Humble is kind of hard to take down here, Sunny.
Hitting overtime now. Humble in a great position, have the hypercharge on the call, have the ball control, and only 2 opponents against them. Angel Boy coming out of spawn now, can't really do too much though. Without those walls, Jackie is gonna be pretty useless. 3v3, and still they managed to slot that one in. Beautiful super shot here. And Humble take this set in a pretty quick manner. Beautiful played here. Also Finks, for the first time I believe today, played by Semantic. He really makes that brawler shine. He makes it so he really gets the best out of that brawler. The most value, his supers were perfectly placed. I think Finks is pretty underrated overall, and Semantic just knows how to play him to make him shine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Sunny. Finks feels underwhelming, but in the hands of Semantic, it just feels like a huge threat there. And I have to say, in conjunction with Boss using the ollie, he got those gadgets on point. He was jumping out of the way. He was getting those hypnosis, pulling people towards Humble to get those kills and marking off people one by one. I feel like they deconstructed Reply Totem clinically in that first set. We're going to go in the second set, which is bridge too far. Let's see if that pans out differently for Totem. But I have to say, remember how Humble played Bridge Too Far in the grand finals, in the upper bracket finals against Eclipse Star Esport? Luki was kind of crazy in the middle with his Nani there, and I don't know if Reply Totem are up to the task. I don't know if they can handle the smoke.
They also just handled Eclipsar, though their arch nemesis. Totem lost to Eclipsar more often than we can count. I think I'm by now up to counting to 7, and I think Totem lost more to Eclipsar than that. But today they won, and now they're in the grand final. So again, congratulations to them. That's where we left off before our stream, unfortunately, crashed. We're heading into set number 2 now, and I think, again, here also could be a slight advantage for Reply Totem that they know exactly what Humble likes to play on this map. Against Eclipsar, it was the Nanny in mid, the Colt on the left-hand side. Boss completely dominated with that on the left-hand side, and then Semantic on the right-hand side with the Lola. They did leave those 3 brawlers open, but they probably know exactly what they would play into it, or they could play one of those 3 brawlers now. Melody. Okay, now Eclipsar played what into the comp from Humble in the previous set, Panda?
I believe Marco specifically played Melody, which was
exactly
completely destroyed by the mid on the other side. So the fact that Totem's going for a Melody early pick is kind of crazy. And Humble doing the same thing that they did last time. We saw Lola on Semantic. We're probably going to see Nani coming from Luki. And the last one was probably Boss with the Colt. So let's see. Oh, they go for Piper this time around. That is surprising since Nani is open. So Totem probably should take that Nani.
You like the Piper this time around. They're deviating from that Nani pick, but Luki's also pretty good on Piper, so I think it's pretty interchangeable what they want to pick here. Nani could be picked up now, though, by Reply Totem. It's always a bit of a guess here what you want to play. I personally prefer Piper on this map because Nani's shots are going to be cut off by the sides if played in mid. She has a pretty wide shot, so Piper's actually better, but Nani's still a direct counter to Piper if you want to play the return to sender gadget. Bo is going to be the pick from Reply Totem. So far, they have the exact same comp that Eclipsar played into Humble, and it did not work out for Eclipsar. If you remember back to that, it was 2-0 in that set. Let's see if they can just play it better, or if the comp actually doesn't work out. They do have the Nani now to round it off. I do like it. Again, usually I would play Teleport on Heist with Nani. Now they kind of are forced to play Return to Sender because of the Piper.
And I feel like Bo is going to be going on a Lola because out of all of the 3 brawlers that Reply Totem have, I feel like Bo is the only one which can address Lola. Without Melody's super, I think that it's going to be hard. But Colt's coming out last for Humble. So they only swapped out the Nani for the Piper in their composition, which Nani was picked up by Reply Totem. So it might just be that they didn't like how well the Nani played in the previous game, which is why they decided to swap it out with the Piper. But I feel so far it just looks like it's specifically the strategy that Humble want.
I wonder if the Piper was just spanned out in the previous set. Could be the case. That's why they picked up the Nani. And this is the actual comp they usually want to pick. So if Totem really just handed those 3 brawlers that Humble wanted to have on this map to them, I don't really see a bright future for them. We're heading into this set number 2 now, Totem, with the possibility to even things out here, make it a 1-1. So far, so good for Humble, though. Boss, again, just clapping with that Colt. You don't want that man on that brawler with the first damage onto the safe as well. Humble is in the lead.
It's a great start for Humble here. They have pushed Reply Totem out of the game, but I feel like Reply Totem are back here. They are able to get a little bit more damage. Megalomaniac almost removed from the equation almost immediately, and it is 64-81% favoring Humble. It's just a little bit, but Angel Boy does have a super. He went down the mid, but took a lot of damage against the Lola there, and now Boss and Luki kind of doubling up and getting so much of damage on the objective. It is now down to just almost single digits here. Boss is on a tear. Luki's going to get even more shots off, and he jumps away from Maru. 3% left on the safe, and it's just a matter of time, and he manages to slot this one in. Oh my god, he threads the needle.
Trying to body block with the reflexes, Maru dodges the shot from Luki. He does get the save damage in necessary for Humble to win that one. I really wonder if Reply Totem just didn't watch the match between Humble and Eclipsar, or if they kind of want to prove that that comp can work still. Melody's still not getting the value in that you would expect from a Melody on Heist in general. She just gets shot down every time she's trying to push up, especially by Boss at the start. Let's see if this time around Angel Boy can win that right-hand side matchup. On the left side, Semantic dodging those shots coming in from Nani. They actually have weird lanes. I don't know. I wouldn't put the Nani against the Lola. I would put her against the Piper, but we'll see how it's going to go down.
Well, Boss has been really being a taskmaster, ensuring that Angel Boy can't really move up at all. Boss going to get some even more safe damage, takes it down to 76%, so 24% claimed against this totem safe, and even more so going to be used by Luki there. He jumps out of the way, but he does get taken out by Maru there. Nice connection on the peep, and now Angel Boy is able to take down Boss, and he's going to be able to get even more damage, and just like that, Reply Totem have the lead against Humble.
Totem, for the first time in this Heist set, take over the lead. It's not a huge one. It's about 20% here. Very quickly, Boss could turn things around if he only gets onto safe. Semantic does find a takedown onto Maru on the left-hand side. Can't push up yet. Can't really get any safe damage in for now, but they're slowly and steadily pushing up that map. Humble with mid-control here. Totem back in spawn.
Luki pops his hypercharge. They're going to try to get as much damage on this objective as possible, and they are doing exactly that. But now Angel Boy has got the kill on a Boss. He's going to be able to go on the other safe on his own end and get even more damage, and now you see the Humble safe going down even more. But on the other side, Totem safe is down to 10%, so it is very scary for both teams in this particular situation. But with those brawl breaks on this left-hand side though, Sunny, it makes it that much more possible for Mori to pop off with this Nani pick, because you're not going to be limited by those walls anymore.
Boss is like a hot knife cutting through butter. Through his opponents as if they wouldn't exist, just goes up to save again and again, and Humble takes over the lead with that. Nani Peep coming in now, connects with Luki. Luki on 90 HP and still survives for now. No more save damage coming in from Humble just yet. Totem neither though, and they need it. They need 20% more to turn things around here. 20 seconds left on the clock. Angel Boy goes down, denying the last man standing. Mari, can he defend on his own? They only have 10% still left on their safe, and they need some more damage to turn things around.
5% left on the safe now. Angel Boy going in with a hypercharge. He's going to get a lot of damage in. Can he get enough? That is the question. It's not going to be possible for Reply Totem as Humble take this one and take the set.
That round 2 was a lot closer. You have to give it to Totem here. They almost turned things around. If Angel Boy maybe stayed alive a tiny bit longer there, or if Lucky wasn't standing perfectly to block out those Nani shots, they could have still won that one. Well played though by Humble. Didn't exactly at what times to push. They pushed as a unit, just one big line of blue going up against that save of Reply Totem. None of them overextended whenever they had the chance to do damage, but they were still 2 against 1. They decided to just not push, wait for their teammates, and do damage as a unit. So I don't think you could play this map any better than Humble just did.
That was just beautifully played by Humble. But I gotta say, Reply Totem, they don't look desolate. They don't look like they've been completely rolled over. The look on their faces after that loss of the set was one of still confidence. I think that we're gonna still see them fighting back in the coming set when we go into Hard Rock Mine.
Hard Rock Mine is another map that we saw from Humble, I believe, before. So I hope Totem was watching. Yes, it was indeed. I hope Totem was watching. I hope they took notes. And I hope we will see another set coming out of those two. I kind of would feel a bit sad if this final was already over after 3-0, but obviously I would also be happy for Humble if they took down both Eclipsar and Totem in a 3-0 sweep. They would certainly be the well-deserved winners.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've had a long way to get to this point in this tournament. So already it's a commendable task that they've accomplished so far. But the job's not done. Obviously, we're going to go to Hard Rock Mine, and maybe it might pan out differently. We've had 2 sets here. Maybe they can force the 4th or 5th. So let's see how this one does play out for them as we go into Hard Rock Mine. And in this map, we're going to have a lot of walls, a lot of obstacles, which makes brawlers like Meeple pretty decent. You're going to have maybe the Mr. P mid once more, who knows? Maybe the Squeak on lane. Boss was playing it absolutely perfectly, I remember, in the last interaction against Eclipsar Esports. So, you know, a lot of different strategies that could be used in this Hard Rock mindset as we go into this.
Yeah, I think we had a Chester, Mr. P, and Squeak from Humble before, and I hope this time around Totem isn't just going to give them those brawlers once again, because they basically won with the same exact comp they had against Eclipsar and Bridge Too Far, now also against Totem, so maybe not let them have this comp twice in a row. Hard Rock Mine is going to be super interesting here, and Bridge Too Far kind of gave me flashbacks also when Boss still was in Team K, so I believe he already was a force to be reckoned with on that Colt. So whenever Colt is open, you kind of need to ban it against Humble. He's not really the best in the meta, but on ice, just so good, so much DPS that he can make him work.
Yeah, I feel like Colt is one of those picks against Humble that you have to ban out. Similar to when you're facing Team Heretics in a map which is conducive to Rico. If you don't ban it out, Chaos is just going to roll you over. So you have to be careful about these sort of specific brawlers that people are specialists in. But when I say that he's a specialist, they're still great with like a plethora of brawlers. They can probably play most roles in this game anyway.
I do think every single one of the players that we have in the grand finals today can play every single brawler that is in the game. Since those two have managed to make it to the finals, we can now declare that those two are the strongest two in all of the region, at least in the GKR League. We so far already know that Papar Supermassive is taking home a part of that prize pool. $5,000 are spread amongst the participants, and for the 4th spot, Papar Supermassive taking home $300. Eclipsar Esports taking home $700. For the 1st and the 2nd place, it's going to be $2,500 and $1,200. So a lot of money to take home here. Also, of course, the very first GKR championship title is something that you can still flex. Put it into your CV. and talk about with your grandchildren.
But yeah, Semantic classically has always kind of ruled the roost in EMEA when it comes to third-party tournaments. I remember when we used to cast certain tournaments, repeatedly we saw Semantic squad coming out on top. So it is nice to see that it hasn't really changed all that much. I mean, maybe Humble won't win it today, but they've reached the grand finals, But in order to lose, they have to lose in a reverse sweep now, and they have to lose another one after the bracket reset. So it is a tall order for Reply Totem to come back in this one. But I honestly think that they have their nerves about them. I don't think that they are mentally far gone here.
I do kind of like the triangle we have going on in EMEA currently between Reply Totem, Humble, and Eclipsar. Both Totem and Humble got their revenge today in the March monthly finals. Both of them got kind of swept by Eclipsar. Now, both of them won against Eclipsar and have to face off against each other now. A match that we haven't seen in a while, honestly. So I'm really looking forward to this match. Even though it's already 2-0, I still believe Totem can turn things around here. They just need to remember how that felt winning against Eclipsar today.
Yeah, I just realized when I set up the stream again on YouTube, instead of grand finals, I was sprinting through this and I wrote grind finals. So you guys better be grinding for that $2,500.
I mean, there were 6 weeks of match days in the group stage just to land in the playoffs, playing until 1 a.m. it was, I think. 8 matches yesterday, another 6 today. Humble, though, they had 3 matches in total so far. They are still unbeaten. They didn't have to go through the lower bracket. So Totem now on 5 matches, Humble on 3. Kind of unfair, no? They had to put a sprint here.
I mean, it is a lot of matches, but I think we've seen this sort of thing happen before in third-party tournaments where we do usually have double eliminations. And I really like the double elimination bracket system because it allows for, teams to still come back. It's not just like them having one bad match or something which completely throws them out of the tournament. They still have an opportunity for some kind of reparations, and we're seeing exactly that with Reply Totem. I'll be honest, at the start when they got that free win against LLC Esport, I was like, come on, like that is too easy. That's too cheesy even. But after that, they just kept on going from strength to strength. So I really like what I'm seeing here. And we're going to go into our draft between Humble and Reply Totem at Hard Rock Mine. The bans are in. They're going to be Janet, Ollie, Janet, Ash, and need a double Janet ban. Quite interesting here. But we know why that is the case because Janet has been quite pivotal to a lot of teams on maps such as this one. Buster's coming out and Mr. P for Humble. So are we going to see a Mr. P mid again? I'm not so sure, but Chester with Mr. P on this map is great.
Just a little reminder here, Humble played this map before against Eclipsar and they had Mr. P, Chester, and Squeak. Won it in a 2-0 fashion. So I really hope Reply Totem isn't going to give them all 3 of those brawlers. It looks like they are, and Squeak is the perfect counter to Penny. What?
Wow.
Did they not watch the match? What is going on? I hope also, by the way, Wikipedia isn't lying to me here. The last time those 2 teams have faced off against each other was in the Brawl Stars Championship in the Invitational, and Totem actually took it 3-2.
I'm still
in
laughing.
January, that was. January. It wasn't laughing. A Squeak, though. No Squeak.
I'm still laughing at the fact that it's not a Squeak here. We're going into this third set of the grand finals between Humble and Reply Totem. And Mori going in on Luki going in on Mori gets taken out instead. Boss is going to be playing the Mr. P this time around, with Luki actually playing the aggressive brawler, which is going to be the boss. He goes in once more, he gets taken out once more, which is unfortunate for him in the scene, but I feel like this is just a method for him to start farming his super and his hypercharge towards the end of the game. That pop-up play is going to be required for the side of Humble, as they don't have a conventional mid, so to speak.
Very dominant what Reply Totem is showing us so far here. Aggressive turret from the Penny doing its work, and they already have picked up 6 gems here. Had mid control for most of the game so far. Now it's the first time we actually see Humble also with some mid control here. Maru strikes, Symantec falls. Maru still one-shot dodges those Mr. P shots. Mr. P is actually so good against Buster because his shots bounce over his super.
Amazing plays coming from Reply Totem. They have the control of the mid, but with that Angel Boy falling in that situation, and Semantic in their backlines. That's not looking good. Luki going in with a hypercharge. He tries to get some value, but it almost gets taken out immediately, but has to go back here. But Semantic going to be taking up the task himself. Does get taken out by Angel Boy. Angel Boy going to be there with a hypercharge. Does get the trade here. Now Boss is going to be in a bad situation. He over-aggresses, and that is going to be Maru taking those gems. And the countdown is now with Reply Totem with 12 seconds to spare. It's not looking good for us, Humble and Semantic, as they aren't really in a position to really make a play here, Sonny.
I have goosebumps from head to toe here with 3 seconds left. Humble is not going to be able to close the gap here. Mori almost fell to Semantic. Angel Boy comes in and saves his teammate there. Beautiful what Reply Totem is showing us here. And I do think they really broke the curse today. Also the curse that once they start losing, they lose their mental. Now it really seems like they still have every will, every motivation to still win this one. And especially since they again gave Humble the comp that they wanted. They left Chester and Mr. P open, even though they just won with that comp against Eclipsar, but seem to have the perfect answer to that comp.
Ooh, I see what Humble's trying to do. They want Boss to double up with Luki so that he can get his super faster. Once he does get his super, it might be easier for them. But I like this penny pick. I feel like this penny pick is working really well against Humble because of the fact that the porters, even if they're up, they're a huge factor of being scared of that penny. So I feel like Humble's composition actually gives more lethality to the penny, even more so than their own composition. And Mari going in with a hypercharge as well. Not going to be able to get that much of value, but has pushed back Boss sufficiently. So he's going in for the kill. He should be able to find it. He does, but he's certainly going to be taken out here.
Montek sitting on those 3 gems. You usually don't want your aggressive brawler to be the gem carry here, but he kind of had to take over for Boss. He's just getting bullied by Angel Boy at this point, coming in once again with hypercharge, gets rid of the Mr. P. Up top we have Mari and Maru fighting against Luki, trying to do the same. He's trying to be the Angel Boy of Humble right now, but Angel Boy just does it better. Boss falls again. He can't even make it out of spawn. Luki now finally there for the saving. Does manage to stun Angel Boy. Doesn't get the takedown though. He decides to go for Mari instead. Falls again. And Totem is a countdown.
That's crazy. Hypercharge was also used by the Chester button to no avail. Now Luki has to go up and try to get his super in order to make some kind of play, but right now he's not in that position to do so. He's going to be taken out. There is a super coming in from Maru and a hypercharge from Angel Boy, who completely puts fire on the map as Reply Totem Ignite.
And we do have the switcheroo now. We have a set won by Reply Totem. No double sweep by Humble today. 3-0 against Eclipsar. No 3-0 against Totem. They said no. And if we remember yesterday, they already managed to reverse sweep another team. Is that going to be the fate of Humble here as well? We're going to find it out on set number 4 now already. It could still be the last set we're watching of the grand finals. We kind of hoped that we would see another set, and we got our wish granted here. And maybe they should have picked Squeak, you know? They should have maybe went with the exact same comp. I don't know if that would have been better.
Yeah, I understand why they probably went the Buzz, but it just didn't work out for them. I felt like I never saw any pop-out play from Luki or any kind of impactful play which completely pushed Reply Totem out of the point. So probably something to think about and ponder as they go into the next few sets here. But I like the way Reply Totem played this one. They played with a lot of confidence. I like the way they synergized well with the Penny and the Buster to push Luki in situations where he didn't want to really be. You either get hit by the Penny or you get hit by the Buster. It was a situation of where you have to pick your poison. So well played from Reply Totem to ensure that they shut down Humble quite repeatedly in that set. And it was beautiful to watch.
Hideout now is a map that Totem has played before. Humble so far have played Pinhole Pond, Bridge to Fire, and Hard Rock Mine. So Totem had a pretty good idea, if they only watched the matches, what Humble wants to pick. Now in Hideout, it's going to be Totem with that advantage or disadvantage as you want to play that exact map again. It's another map with quite a few long range bowlers that could come in here. Angelo, Mandy pretty strong in the current meta, but we saw a lot of mechs as well. We saw Papara Supermassive with a Grey on this map, just teleporting in and out, getting those sweeps. We saw Carl. We saw a Leon coming out from Totem before on Shooting Star, and it somehow worked out, so could be an option here as well.
Yeah, and I believe we also saw specifically Reply Totem on Hideout take a combination of Byron. I kept on saying Gray for some reason, but Byron along with the Melody, and that gave Melody so much more staying potential and being aggressive for much longer. And once you have all those notes in the hypercharge and you get those healings from the Byron, it just makes Melody that much more lethal. You can get those team wipes as well. So I think that, Melody is still a big contender on a map like this. It still hasn't fallen out of favor in terms of what the teams are looking for. As we go into this draft, though, I'm worried. Honestly, I feel like both these teams have drafted really well so far, except maybe in the last set for Humble. But I feel like this fourth set might bring out something very zany from both these teams, which they just want to catch the other team off guard. I'm not sure if that's going to be the way it goes, though.
It's certainly the match that so far we had to wait a bit longer for draft. They're both really trying to cook, putting everything into this very last match of the GKR League. It's going to be the last match already, Panda. Those 7 weeks just flew by. The 8 matches yesterday and the 4 matches today so far also just flew by. I had a blast to be back united with you. We didn't cast together since 2023, I think, so it's been a while. And now it comes to closing. After today, we'll know who to crown the GKR Brawl Stars Championship champions.
Yeah, it's going to be the first ever GKR title that a team gets, and either going to be Humble or it's going to be Reply Totem. And honestly, I think that either squad's really great in this situation because they've just put on a show against every single team that they participated against today. They put on a show.
They truly are. I love to see that we are heading into set number 4 in our grand finals. Humble is not going to be unbeaten today. They didn't pull off their world final run today. Let's see if they can still close it out in a 3-1 or if Totem can prolong even to a 5th and final set. They did take Reverser Gaming into a final set. They did take Papara Supermassive into a final set. It just seems to be where they feel most comfortable, winning with a 3-2.
We should be going into the draft anytime soon. Just looking at the demeanor of the players here, they seem to be quite relaxed. I feel like Humble seems to be more, I don't know, concerned because obviously once you go up 2-1 and you lose a set, then there's always that fear of, hey, are we gonna get are we gonna get reverse swept? I don't want that situation to happen, right? So that's probably a lot of the discussion there. In draft here, we have our bans. They're going to be Jean, Gray, Ollie, Gray, Bell, and Buster. The first pick for Reply Totem on this map, which is Hideout.
Jean, Gray, Ollie banned out. Gray, Bell, Buster still also banned out here. And Angelo actually still up for the picking. I did say that he's one of the best long-range brawler in the game right now. One of the highest win rates on this map as well. So it makes a lot of sense that Reply Totem decides to pick him here. They did play this map before. We talked about it. They had Melody, Byron, and Piper come before. They did leave Piper open, and that's probably what Humble is aiming for here as well. Looking at Luki, he's super excited to play in these grand finals, by the way. It's just so nice to see. RT is going to be their pick for now. They don't want anything aggressive from the side of Reply Totem. They did just watch them go Leon on Shooting Star, and they thought, hey, actually, great idea. Let's do that ourselves as well.
Semantic just vibing. Oh, wow. He's giving us this kiss as well. Thank you, Semantic. But okay, let's see what Reply Totem respond with, because there is a Leon and an RT here. I don't know if necessarily the synergy between them is all that great, but RT is just generally a great brawler in his respect. And Meeple's coming out. I'm surprised actually that we haven't seen Meeple as much in the matches today, because Meeple is really strong, especially on a map like this, in fact, because you can completely isolate parts of the map completely, and once you put down your super, you can't really camp the wall anymore if you're on the other side. So I like this Meeple pick a lot with Angelo as well. Once you put down that super, Angelo's actually going to do so much more damage with that Meeple super. So all in all, I like this Reply Totem composition with the Melody as well. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to seeing what Humble has to go up against.
With Angelo, we have the better Piper. Piper is what they played before. We don't have a Byron either. We still kept the Melody, but we switched the other two. Meeple coming in here. We didn't really see him very often in this competition in the last 2 days at least, because he's just so strong in the current meta with his Meeple's mention, with his gadget, the dice he puts down on the ground. He's just so oppressive, has so much area control. I did say that Humble is probably looking into getting that Piper still because Luki's on that roster, and that's just per default the Piper pick whenever she's open on a pretty open map. RT will do pretty well against the Melody Leon as well, so it's still a bit of a risky loss pick here from Apply Totem. They can't go in too aggressively, but as long as they play this one together, don't overextend. Keep in mind that they don't have a healer either. Totem is able to take the one.
They have a means to get in and get out with the Melody, but whether they're going to be able to do that or not is a question that Humble really have to answer here. So looking at the compositions, I think they could go either way. We're going to go game number 1. Off the 4th set of the Grand Finals, Humble are up 2-1 in terms of the set score. So a win in this set is going to cement their position as the kings of GKR. But Totem are not going to let that slide.
Blue Star picked up by Boss immediately. We talked about it a lot, how if you have the Blue Star here, you're just going to be able to lean back here, have the opponents come to you, feed your super off of them. People's Mansion coming in. Mori takes out one of the 3. It's only a 2v3 for a split second. They still don't manage to get a takedown. And again, Humble, they're chilling. They are already in the lead here. They can lean back and just try to get their supers. Totems are the ones that need to do something.
I like the fact that Semantic is actually running smoke trails. That means he's going to be much faster than expected when he is invisible. Oh, nice snipe from Luki. He's able to thread the needle, and Angel Boy falls, and that's going to extend the lead 3 stars for the side of Humble.
Semantic on the left-hand side, trying to put up some aggression against Totem here. They do have a 3-star lead. Don't go too over-aggressive here. Does have a super ready though, trying to close the gap between themselves. And Melody decides to fall back though. Again, Humble don't need to be the aggressors here. They can just lean back. Semantic doesn't have to go in with his super, and deciding to go back there actually feels like the right choice. 5 stars now. They get another takedown. Maru falls. And we have a 2v3 situation now. Maru just comes out of spawn with 25 seconds left on the clock. It doesn't look like Totem can turn things around.
9-star deficit. Luki also has super, and he is such a lethal marksman, just connecting so many of these shots when he obviously shouldn't be given that license, but you know, he's gonna take it. 9 seconds on the clock. It's now or never for Reply Totem as Semantic goes in with a hypercharge. He's able to find 1 kill. He gets the super once more, and Boss finds the next. It's gonna be a 13-0 game favoring Humble as they are now on match point against Reply Totem.
We're potentially, oh my god, we're potentially 1 game away of crowning our GKR champions for the first time here in Brawl Stars. And let's see if it's actually going to be Humble that take that title, or if Reply Totem can continue the run and can continue in set 5. Angel on the left-hand side with his Melody really can't give the team as much value as they were probably hoping for. They don't have a Byron, they don't have any heals for her this time. And he can't really go in aggressively against the Leon and DRT. The Meeple, however, can snipe. Mari with a phenomenal kill to here for the very first time in this set. Reply Totem takes over the lead.
Ooh, Luki almost overstated his welcome, managing to get out of that situation quick enough. Mori, though, has a Mansion with Meeple. He uses it on the left-hand side to grab Semantic, but isn't able to do so. Nice snipe from Luki, and that is going to put one of them down, but now Angel Boy gets the kill. Oh, he's able to get the kill on the boss here for sure. And it's going to be a 7-4 game here favoring Reply Totem, though.
Semantic on the left-hand side, trying to sneak up here. Does find a takedown onto Maru. Still don't have the lead, though, and the Blue Star keeps them from having a lead here as well. Totem wins that one. Also get the takedown onto Semantic. Immediately punish them. Meeple's Mansion coming in here with the super as well. Boss gets sniped out. Totem playing it phenomenally this time around. It's going to be a 12-7 lead. 40 seconds left on the clock though. They still need to survive for a bit.
Ooh.
Nice.
Luki
Well
jumps
seen by Angel Boy.
He jumps in, Angel Boy capitalizes on that opportunity. Maru pops a hypercharge as well. Doesn't have it right now, but that's going to be enough to keep him at base. Semantic almost tries to sneak up, but it gets taken out. So does Luki, and it's looking like a reply to a masterclass as the Angel Boy goes in with a hypercharge to clean this one out. And just like that, we are having an equalizer in this set. It is still, though, a match point for Humble, but Reply Totem have a way back.
We see a lot of foreheads. All of those heads are thinking about some strategy. We need to focus up on this match. It's going to mean everything to Humble to win this game. They would be the final winners of this competition after 7 weeks of the GKR League.
Yeah, and
they could be crowned the champions. On the other side, with Reply Totem, they are still hanging on by a thread. They are facing off against the Humble with Blue Star and Match Point, and they need to win this one to go to set 5.
The Blue Star Humble are definitely in the driver's seat, but they don't want to be pushed back all the way to spawn here. Mori has popped his gadget. Wants to trap somebody here. He's going to go for Luki, but not able to do so. This is a little bit of a cheeky position here. They can try to get into a position where Luki doesn't have as much value, but it's not going to be the case in this scenario here. It is still a little bit of a stalemate, a little bit of a detente in the middle.
I kind of feel like I would have liked a Byron instead of that Meeple on the team. The Angelo can't heal up whenever he's aiming, so the Byron could help him with that, and Angelo can't really push up. He doesn't really have the range to go up against the Piper or the RT, and when he falls low, he just immediately has to fall back. They never can really put up a lot of pressure against this Humble comp. They only have 50 seconds left now. Another single kill has fallen in this round number 3. Both teams are playing it very defensively, very carefully.
Ooh, Semantic getting caught here. Is he going to die once the walls do break down? Boss is there to pick up the slack. Semantic is very low, but manages to survive nonetheless. Luki has a jump. He can go in and try to get a wall break here against Mori, and that's going to open up the map more. But with 27 seconds left and the positioning that Reply Totem have, they can actually get into a position where they can take down Boss here. But Mori goes down. It's going to be a lead for Humble with 3 stars to 0. Angel Boy trying to go in to make something happen. Maru has his super as well. Luki has a hypercharge. He has popped it. There's a kill onto Maru. That's going to be huge. And now Angel Boy can go in for the kill. Humble is completely low. 3 seconds left. Luki goes down. Oh my god, it is still Humble on top, and they are your GKR champions.
All 3 of them were one shot. Boss with the final kill to change it all. And Humble are your champions, your kings of the GKR League 2025 EMEA in Brawl Stars. Congratulations to you guys. It was a 2-star lead in the end that made the difference. And again, those couple of last seconds really decided over fate for Reply Totem here as well. They couldn't possibly make it into set 5, even though Humble, all 3 of them were one shot. They didn't manage to take them out. Well played, guys. You really proved to be the champions of the GKR League.
Amazingly played from Humble, but I have to say valiant effort from Reply Totem to come back and really push Humble in a situation where they might not have won, or they might have pushed this at number 5 is commendable to say the least. But beautiful plays coming in from Humble. They completely had their own playbook and made everybody play by their rules instead of the opponents. So good job from them in terms of the draft and in terms of the overall gameplay. But I have a lot of confidence of this over this Reply Totem squad going into the next few tournaments.
I do so as well. We see the final standings here. Number 1 slot taken by Humble. They humbled all of their opponents in the end. Didn't lose a single match in the playoffs yesterday and today, winning against Dark Eagles 3-2, against LLC 3-0, against Eclipse R 3-0 as well, and now finally against Totem in a 3-2-1. Beautiful place here. Second place goes to Totem, third to Eclipse R, fourth to Papar Supermassive, and the first 4 take home a hefty sum. Also, for all the other 4 that have been playing in the playoffs, still get a little bit of that prize pool of $5,000, so nobody goes home empty-handed. Lovely to see.
It's amazing to see this happen. I mean, $5,000 prize pool, and you get to keep $2,500. I would say use it to buy pro passes for me and Sunny. Thank you so much. Semantic and Luki and Boss, thank you so much. I appreciate the donation. But seriously though, congratulations to Humble. Deserved it. Played it really well. I have to say all 8 teams performed valiantly and gotta say, the two standout teams, or rather the three standout teams for me today, have to be Humble, Reply Totem, and Papara Supermassive. Not to say Eclipse Heart didn't play well. They did play well, but I feel like the performances that we saw from the other three teams were crazy insane. And this is what we saw over the course of the day. Totem took the first win against LC Esports in a free win. Then Papara Supermassive actually took the dub against SK Gaming in a 3-1, followed by Papara Supermassive facing off against Totem and losing 3-2. Then we had Eclipse Heart against Humble in the upper bracket final, where Eclipse Heart were swept in a 3-0. Then Eclipse Heart had to face Reply Totem in the lower bracket finals, where they lost to 3-1. And then in our grand finals, which is what we just saw today, Humble won it in a 3-1. But to say it was a comfortable win would be an overstatement of what happened. It wouldn't be the fact, because it was a closely and hotly contested one, except maybe the first set.
I'm so happy to see, by the way, that we are in the time schedule completely. Yeah, we totally started the finals at 9 p.m. It's now 11:30. But yes, it was a very interesting day. Once again, 6 matches in total. Some of them were very close, some of them weren't as close, but the results don't always reflect what we've seen today, honestly. I think Totem was pretty dominant overall against Papara Supermassive. I think the match between Eclipse and Humble, some of those sets could have went either way. Eclipse still played well today, even though not as good as in the most recent tournaments that we've seen from them. And I do like to see a little switcheroo there at the top. As I mentioned, both Totem and Humble lost to Eclipse in the March monthly finals. Now they got their revenge, both made it to the finals. And honestly, even though Reply Totem might have lost in these finals, they can still take home some money, and they can still give themselves a pat on the back. They finally broke the curse against Eclipse. They broke the curse and got their redemption. So I'm super proud of them. I'm super happy for them. I hope that is also going to push their mental a bit for the upcoming monthly qualifier this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, best of luck to all the teams participating in monthly qualifiers. I feel like now you already are primed for what is expected in terms of the meta, and maybe it might help you out. There is another tournament I believe Sunny's going to be casting in a few days, so look out for that as well. But I have to say, I'm quite impressed with the results of this. Unfortunately, I would have also liked to see Team Heretics and Foot Esports participate in this one to make it even more exciting. But honestly, we have a stellar cast of players and organizations participating in this tournament, and in the future, if GKR or any other third-party tournament has qualifiers, please participate and show us what you're made of. Because if you do have what it takes, then you're going to be there in these amazing tournaments, and you're going to be in the grand finals. You might be facing off against Semantic and Humble and Reply Totem and Angel Boy. That's something to do. So make sure you participate in every single esports tournament that you're a part of, that you can possibly be taking part in.
I would always love to cast a couple of new faces. We had some new teams in the GKR League as well, so that was already lovely to see. Even though the big 2 names did take it in the end, they still had some great showings, and I'm sure we're going to see them in the future again. Now, I'm going to go rest my voice for a bit. I'm going to have cast number 3, another Brawl Stars cast tomorrow, but for now, a huge shout out to production. Even though we might have struggled a bit in between with this spectate, they immediately found a solution. Shout out also to each of the players that gave us their POV. It still was very cool to see what they were able to do. I think in some cases, I even preferred the player POV, because you can see like how they're dodging, how they manage to, or how they approach their lane matchups when they're falling back to pinch with their teammates. It was also nice to see the exact POV, even though sometimes we might have missed out on some plays because the player wasn't where we wanted to watch. But hey, I think we managed pretty well. So thank you to production. You did a great job. Panda, you did too. Even though we had a bit of a hiccup today before the finals, we managed to still come back online. Your PC managed to stay up. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here, Sunny. And make sure you guys use code SUN and code PEN in the shop when you are buying anything in any Supercells game. And any creator code would do great. But thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time with another GKR production in the future, hopefully.